acknowledgement of who we are and our vast contribution, such as what's happened here in Venice throughout our history. And that's not too much to ask for, but damn it, they keep making us fight for it. I'm done. So we can.
Naomi was talking about the Fox Theater. In fact, it's just right down the street from where I live. And I thought that was great because, oh wow, I'm going down there and we're going to get jobs and we can still go to school and walk to work. They never hired any black person at the Fox Theater when it was a movie. They, finally, I guess about in maybe late 60s, they hired a friend of mine who was Mexican, and I was so proud that she went on and taken the job. But to my knowledge, like I said, it was would have been a great opportunity, and even like in Santa Monica, what Naomi did in the Five and Dime, Newberries and Crest and all that, never did hire people of color.
So we invite your questions, and Mike, you should come up too.
Well, I was going to introduce, the Q&A section of the event too, but okay, since you invited me up on the event.
Well, questions?
I have a question. So I moved here in '95, right when the gang injunction was going on. My landlord was talking about how the city was making a concerted effort to use code enforcement to get people to sell.
Right. What's called PACE.
Could you tell me more about that?
Yes, I remember when PACE first came in fact, they had a meeting. It was at Venice Family Clinic, and my cousin told my sister and myself, she said, there's a meeting going on, I'm not sure what it's about. And so my sister and I went over there, and like I said, it was a secret meeting, and I insist that I add my name, and the next time they have another meeting, they never had another one there. And what it was it was a good way to try to get rid of some of the people of color. Like, let's say, for instance, you had an abandoned car, or you had a flower box that they said was obstructed view, and the plant was going to make you sick, and it was just, or your trimming, your house needs the trimming, broken window and things. And then we had a lot of elderly people, and that were retired. And so what we did is we would, when they got a citation, we would go and at least make sure that they had more time to get it fixed, because half of the people, and especially the people that were retired, did not have the money to fix this window and everything. And it was done by secret, and I remember walking around with some of the inspectors, and this is when all these illegal fences started going up, and they were looking, and they were basically picking people of color. And I would say, well, why don't you look through there? I can see. Oh, no, we don't need to go there. Then the guy, what would they tell? Oh, we're going to the Palisades. And we knew it did not happen in Pacific Palisades. That was pro-code enforcement. And they tried to do it secretly. And if we wouldn't have found out about it, half of us wouldn't be sitting here talking to you now.
So Laddie Williams, who could not be here today, was part of the group, along with Jataun, that were advocating for the community. Because the one thing that they also did not do was let homeowners know that there were grant funds available that they could have applied for to fix whatever the problem was that they had identified through their code enforcement. And one of the issues was the height of the fence, which was not supposed to be more than 4 feet high.
It's not supposed to be more than 6 feet in the front. On the side and in the back it could be, but in the front it's not. And Venice looks like a fortress now with all these illegal things.
So when we asked what happened with code enforcement with people moving into the community, building 10-foot high fences,
Right.
they said, oh, well, they are afraid, and they feel that they need the high fences for protection. And I said, from what? I don't get it. You don't know where you're buying into or where you're moving to when you buy a house? And it seems to me that you're locking yourself in and away from the community with a 10-foot fence. And mind you, there's also a combination lock on the door. So you're not only locking yourself away from the community by the height of your fence, but by the locks that are on your doors, which sends a message to the larger community at the time that you really didn't come here to assimilate or to be a part of the community. You came here to lock yourself away from what you saw as the community until the change could be made to what you wanted it to be. And so nothing has ever been done about the high fences that are in violation of the codes in Venice. So that also tells you where there is a disparate treatment of certain people in the community. Most recently, it was demonstrated with the whole dog park issue, and who got tickets versus who didn't get tickets for dogs in the park. And instead of it being, you can take your dog to the real dog park on Westminster, instead of trying to create a dog park where it's not a dog park and keep your dog on leash, the attitude of the park and the police at the time was one of indifference. That's not an important issue for us at this time. But what is an important issue is those people sitting down there on the north end of the park playing dominoes and allegedly drinking, or whatever the violations were, which might have had some truth to it. But if you're going to issue tickets there, issue tickets there. A violation is a violation, is it not? So don't make a difference in who you issue tickets to, because that is creating a greater divide in the community.